Good morning. How's everybody doing? Good morning. Good morning. Um, okay. So, good morning. Um, how's everybody doing? I hope you're all doing well. Um, I am in New Jersey and I'm so happy to finally be home and hold on. You already got to block people. Yo, it's too early to talk about sex. I feel like Salt and Pepper said, let's talk about sex, baby, but not until you've had coffee, not until you woke up, not until you brushed your teeth. I can't talk about sex that early. No, sir, I'm 45. You make me faint. Um, anyway, before we get into today's coffee talk, which is so important to me, um, I want to say, and Mary wants to say, thank you so much to everybody who ordered a Coffee Talk mug. We had 48, we sold them out. We were able to get 24 more. I think there's only like 10 left. The site is up, coffeetalk.com is up. There are new products on the site. We're getting everything put back on. Please ignore my ugly hair. Mary and I are building this from scratch with Keith. Oh my God, this is terrible. Um, but anyway, thank you so much to everybody who has ordered a mug. We are going to get them shipped out this week. I am going to personally pack them. I have them here at my beach house. I'm going to write thank you notes. Like, I am so grateful for everybody who went to coffeetalk.com and went to the Coffee Talk product page and bought a mug. I think there are 10 left. They're 16 ounces. They're great. I love them. You should have seen what we went through to find them. Crawling through a crawl space attic, I was doing like the night crawl, the shimmy, shimmy, shake crawl. I don't know. But anyway, I will be packing them up this week and shipping them out before the kids come. Um, I wanted to talk to you guys about grief and being able to normalize grief in order to normalize the healing. Like, wait, before I get into that, for everybody on Instagram who saw some weird bump on my picture yesterday at the beach, I don't know like what it was, but thank you guys for pointing it out to make sure I didn't have some tumor. It's not a tumor. But thank you guys so much for pointing it out, for loving me enough to be like, wait, you have a really weird bump under your collarbone. You should get it checked out. And people were like, don't say that to her. I'm like, no, no, no. Say that to me. Say that to me. Because if I have some weird bump, I need to know. I want to know. Anyway, if you saw the picture on Instagram of me, you'll know what bump I'm talking about. But I can't make that bump again. So I don't think it's anything to worry about. I tried, but there's nothing there except for my collarbone and now my boob, which I'm showing to the whole world on accident. So, but thank you guys for looking out for me. So yesterday I was sitting on the beach with Courtney and we were talking about seasons of change and hardship. And when you get to the grief portion, the sad portion of change, of transformation, of transition, this is the part that we have not normalized. People are not comfortable in a space of grief, and grief is required to move on from anything that we have loved, that we have cared for, that we have poured into, that we have needed. Grief is required to move on. Grief is required to transition. Grief is part of the actual process, but we do not normalize it. So people feel ashamed to grieve. Listen, I think my grief over my father was an extreme because I never, ever, ever had the tools or got the help. I never went to therapy. I was trying to grieve it myself. And so it took me 20 plus years. I can only now, since my uncle, for those of you that have been with me for a long time, since my uncle and I had that conversation 2 years ago, I can only now talk about my dad without crying and really understand that, like, I've been able to grieve that and I've been able to joke about it and, like, find the joy in who he was, not simply the sorrow that he's not here anymore. Because I never had anybody take me by the face, normalize the grief, and say what you were going through was normal, but you didn't know how to process it, whatever. And I was finally able to transition through that. But we as a society, we don't normalize grief. We want people, because it makes us uncomfortable. We can't stand seeing people hurting. We don't like to see people cry. So we want to push them through the grief process. Okay, this is hurting you. All right, I know that you're getting divorced, but we need to move through this already. Come on, we got to get over it. No, the grief portion of the transition process, of the change process, of the healing process is the most normal part of the journey. You cannot heal, transition, or move on if you do not grieve. If you do not grieve in a way that is not full of shame, if you do not grieve in a way that is not rushed through, like, I have spent the last 2 years fully grieving the loss of the relationship with my oldest sister. It was so painful for me that I had an actual nervous breakdown or psychological breakdown or emotional breakdown, whatever kind of breakdown I had. And I have had to cry, I've had to laugh, I've had to talk, I've had to heal, I've had to go to therapy, I've had to take space from my mother, I've had to explain to my children, I've had to get over the shame of not having relationships with my family. I've had to cycle through this ocean of grief. I had to mourn the relationship we used to have and try to find some sense of understanding in the relationship we have now. And the entire thing was rooted in grieving. I was grieving every phase of it. I'm still in the grieving portion of all of that. And I need people to understand that when you are grieving relationships, when you are grieving friendships, when you are grieving loved ones, marriage, parents, whatever, it is so normal. And if we don't start normalizing somebody's grieving period, we are going to continue to stunt the actual healing process. It's why hurt people hurt. It's why people who have baggage and are not ready to get in another relationship fuck up their new relationships because they've not been able to properly grieve their last one. And men, oh my God, men are afforded even less grieving grace than women. I mean, people are not comfortable with women grieving, but they are really not comfortable with men grieving. I have male friends who have gotten divorced, who have felt that they have to move on 2 months after their divorce. They have not been given any safe space to grieve. They have not been given any safe space to cry, to get angry, to feel the loss of what was supposed to be till death do us part. They're just expected to pick themselves up by the bootstraps and just go on. And this is why we have a world of very angry men and a lot of men who are angry at women. Truthfully, if you look around at our world and the way that men view women, treat women, they're angry at us all the time. And I think it's because they feel like they are never given a safe space to feel. So they posture, they get angry, it's about power, it's about control, and suddenly, we can't make any of our own fucking body decisions, and here we are. There, I fucking said it. So, grief, we've got to normalize grief. When someone is grieving, whether we understand it or not, whether we are comfortable with it or not, we have got to create a safe space for people to grieve. We've got to be able to say, this is a natural part of the process, whatever you are going through. I am so sorry you don't talk to your siblings anymore. That must be so painful. Take all the time you need. I am so sorry you're getting divorced and you believe that would be forever and now it isn't. Take all the time you need. I am sorry your father died at a very impressionable age in your life as a teenager. I can imagine that sent you down a very unsafe, confusing road. And if you need to take the next 20 years to grieve that, Jamie, because nobody steps in to help you and get you the help you need, by all means, burn this motherfucker to the ground, girl. No, I'm just kidding. I'm kidding about that part. But I'm just saying, we have to normalize it so people don't feel like they have to cover it up like this. I mean, my girlfriend lost her son. I cannot think of any more significant loss than a child. There is no more significant loss than a child. None whatsoever. I don't care if you lost your dog, your mother, your father, your twin fucking sister. That is all sad and profound. There is no more profound loss than a child. My friend lost her son, and when we were at a concert, she started to cry because of the song that was being played, and she immediately felt that she needed to do this and apologize to me for crying. I'm sorry, you never have to apologize to me for grieving. I imagine and fully expect that she will grieve her son for the rest of her life until she takes her last breath. But because we have not normalized extended grieving periods, we let people grieve for a few days and then we expect them to come back to work, and we stop sending flowers and we stop checking in. And so they feel that the grieving period is, 2 weeks. You could grieve for 2 weeks and then you got to move on. Not in my world. If you friends with me, if I love you, you could grieve for the rest of your life. I got you. Because grief is the only way to transition. It's the only way to heal. And I don't know what it, I have some big hands, y'all. I should be a basketball player. Anyway, I just want to say, if you're grieving right now, if you are in a grieving period, a period of mourning, whatever it is, take all the time you need. There is no shame in that. There is no rush through that. You are allowed to hurt, you're allowed to heal, you're allowed to transition, and it is normal to grieve the loss of something you believed would be forever. Or even if you didn't think it would be forever, you're allowed to grieve the end of whatever mattered to you. Grief is normal, it's important, it is necessary. And that's all I have to say about that. I love you guys. I'm going to go for a walk. I promise I'm going to fix this hair. I'm going to go for a walk, and then I'm going to come back to the house, put some music on, pack up all your mugs, all your sideways crosses, your face oils, your eye patches, everything that you guys have ordered. If you order a mug, get whatever else you've had your eyes on now, because I can put it in the same bug with the same bug. Jamie. in the same box, is what I'm trying to say. But you can go to coffeetalk.com. You can get a sideways cross. You can get a Coffee Talk tumbler. All the candles are restocked. If you are looking for an amazing summer candle, I promise you will not be sorry. The Coffee Talk light candle is amazing for summer. We appreciate supporting this very, very, very small business. It's literally just me and Mary. Thank you to everybody who listened to the Ann Wilson episode of Let's Talk, the podcast. You guys are catching up on episodes and tagging me. I appreciate it. I love you very much. And I hope you have a great, great day.